Hello there and thanks for watching Times Television. Welcome to this year's edition of Times Year in Review 2020, where we bring you some of the stories that made the headlines in the year ending 2020. You're with me, your host, Wezi Kasambala. Please do stay with us. Well, it's been a very eventful year, and in February this year, the Constitutional Court nullified the disputed May 21st, 2019 presidential election results that declared President Peter Mutharika winner. The landmark ruling on February 3rd was probably one of the major stories in the year 2020, both here at home and abroad. But it set the stage for even more bigger events. The judgment was the first in Malawi's electoral history and reinstated Saulos Chilima, who won in the May 2019 presidential poll as UTM candidate, to his position as state vice president, while demoting the then vice president Everton Jimlilenji to a cabinet post. The court also ordered fresh presidential polls within 150 days from the day of the judgment, including weekends and public holidays. There was jubilation in major cities across the country as people took to the streets to celebrate. We were there and gave you this report.
There were scenes of jubilation after the panel of judges nullified the May 21, 2019 presidential elections, the moment many supporters of the petitioners in the case were waiting for. After 11 hours of waiting, as the judges were flipping through pages of the summary of the judgment, the court finally agreed that President Peter Mutharika was not duly elected in the last election. The judges, led by Justice Hilepotani, while admitting that any election is prone to irregularities, said the May 21 elections' irregularities were so grave, systematic and widespread. The court, in its unanimous decision, found that Malawi Electoral Commission breached Section 40, 76 and 77 of the Constitution in the management of the election, hence being incompetent. Among others, Justice Ivy Kamanga, reading out the judgment, brushed off the decision by the commissioners of delegating judicial powers to Chief Elections Officer Samuel Fandika during and after elections when matters in question were appealable. The court also said MEC announced contaminated results after approving results that were not audited and verified. The court has since said the votes that President Peter Mutharika got cannot be trusted as true reflection of the will of the people. The judges have since directed that Parliament should make reforms to the electoral laws within 21 days and discuss the 50+1 rule. Speaking after the judgment, Chilima's lawyer Chikosa Silungwe said they are happy that the court agreed with their petition.
Simple terms. As you've heard from the judgment as it was being read out, irregularity simply means non-compliance with the Act. So you cannot have a public institution that operates as if it does not have an enabling legislation under which it must operate. So we simply picked out all the instances of non-compliance with the electoral law and based our case on that.
Molega Msisha, lead lawyer for Malawi Congress Party President Lazarus Chakwera, attributed the victory to the youth. MEC lawyer Attorney General Kalekini Kapale also had this to say.
Well, as good as all determinations go, it's one of those judgments. It's made findings. We'll have to examine those findings with the clients and come up with a decision.
Chakwera and Chilima sought nullification of the results on the basis that they were marred with irregularities. In the May 21 election, Mutharika got 38% of the votes, followed by Chakwera at 35% and Chilima at 20%.
Well, various organizations, including the Church and Society of the Livingstonia Synod of the CCAP, said the Constitutional Court's verdict will restore Malawi's electoral system's lost integrity. But former President Peter Mutharika, then president, and the Malawi Electoral Commission appealed against the court's judgment. Later, the Supreme Court upheld the Constitutional Court's judgment that President Peter Mutharika was not duly elected president in May 2019. The court also upheld the Constitutional Court's order that a fresh election be held within 150 days from February the 3rd. The judgment by the Supreme Court brought to an end a 9-month-long court battle on the validity of the May 21st presidential polls. Daungo Sabola brought us this report.
A total of 7 justices of appeal, who included Chief Justice Andrew Nyirenda, Justice Anthony Kamanga, Justice Resin Nzigamanda, Justice Frank Kapanda, Justice Love Monjukoba, and Justice Anaclet Chipeta, presided over the ruling on Friday. Among others, Nyirenda described some of the grounds of appeal by MEC as fictitious, clearly unprofessional, and distasteful. He said the court struggled to make sense out of the grounds of appeal as they were unnecessarily numerous, convoluted, and embarrassing. On the use of TPEX, Chikopa said the Supreme Court agrees with the Constitutional Court's observation that there was no authority for anyone to alter tally sheets. On delegation of quasi-judicial powers, Justice Resin Nzigamanda also faulted the Malawi Electoral Commission commissioners for delegating such powers to officials including the Chief Elections Officer. Delivering the final verdict on the matter, Kapanda said the Supreme Court of Appeal agrees with the Constitutional Court that President Peter Mutharika was not duly elected in the May 21 presidential elections. Kapanda further said the Supreme Court of Appeal agrees with the lower court that the definition of the majority means 50% plus 1 vote. Speaking after the determination, MCP President Lazarus Chakwera said he was happy with the ruling. He said following the ruling, it was imperative for MEC commissioners to resign.
It's not even just a question of demanding. If they have any sense of integrity at all, unless they surely are living in denial, what the Supreme Court has said now ought to make them put down their tools today, right here and now, and say, it's over for us.
On his part, UTM President Saulos Chilima said he was happy that the court ordered that only those that voted last year are the ones eligible to vote this year.
I mean, if you recall, a few days back I said these guys who are registering underage people are wasting both their time and money. You know, today that they have been, you know, the position has been taken, has been made that only those that voted last year, and it makes sense because those are the ones whose rights were violated. If you didn't participate in the elections last year, you can't claim that your rights were violated. But those that voted then were denied the opportunity to have the, you know, the rightful leader that they wanted. So we're very happy that you know, the underage, you know, voters can't vote. But the only thing is that they have wasted, you know, blank cards. We should have kept those IDs for good use in future. I wished, you know, they were punished to bear that cost.
Speaking through State House spokesperson Ngeme Kalilani, President Peter Mutharika said he and his legal team will have to study the judgment before effectively commenting on the matter.
Well, it was then time for alliances and campaigns, with the Malawi Congress Party making an alliance with UTM. On the other hand, the Democratic Progressive Party opted for an alliance with the United Democratic Front, or UDF, a long-time ally in Parliament. Malawi Congress Party launched the alliance at the Kamuzu Institute for the Youth in Lilongwe on March 19th, and Audrey Kapalamula was there.
Chilima said the alliance is designed to emancipate Malawians from various challenges they are facing at the moment. Chilima said the alliance has started the journey to State House and expressed confidence that the coalition will win the May 19 presidential election.
There is a team that is going to work on the key messages. The manifestos are quite thick documents. It took us a bit of time to finalize our manifestos, so there will be some key messages that we can use for the campaign.
The signing ceremony was attended by many people, including former President and PP leader Joyce Banda, former official hostess Mama Cecilia Tamanda Kadzamira, former Vice President and Freedom Party leader Kumbo Kachari, MCP Vice President Muhammad Sidik Mia, Umodzi Party leader Peter Chisi, PPM leader Maki Katsonga Piri, Afford leader Enoch Chihana, Petra President Kamuzu Chwambo, and many others. In her address, Banda said she is optimistic that the alliance will help pull Malawians from poverty, saying there is power in unity. In his address, MCP President Lazarus Chakwera expressed worry over President Peter Mutharika's decision not to approve the firing of MEC commissioners as well as the signing of the electoral reform bills. Chakwera said with the alliance, the will of Malawians will triumph. He said though Mutharika has rejected to fire MEC commissioners as well as sign the electoral bills, he will soon realize that the power rests with the people.
It does concern every Malawian, every good, Malawian wanting the best for this country. And so we are trusting that good sense will prevail in the end, and that he would see that it is not about one person, it is not about him at Palace, it is about Malawians, and what Malawians want at this stage is change.
He observed that although Mutharika has been changing many positions of police and army officers to show that he has power, he must know that the true power lies with the people.
Now, the UTM-MCP alliance came barely a month after the DPP and UDF launched theirs at Kamuzu Palace in the capital, Lilongwe. Taongo Sabola also brought us this report.
Briefing Jubilant UDF and DPP supporters who came to witness the event, Mutharika said he was glad to welcome UDF brothers and sisters into the alliance. He said UDF and DPP belong to one family, even though they take different paths. According to Mutharika, the two parties will work together on an alliance as they consider a possibility of forming a coalition.
I am particularly glad to welcome our UDF brothers and sisters back. As you all know, we belong to one family, even though we are taking different paths. We hold similar values. We are both democratic, peaceful, and development-oriented parties. We share similar aspirations to improve the living standards of all Malawians in this country. We are all determined to achieve this. We'll proceed to work as an alliance as we consider the possibility of a coalition.
On his part, UDF leader Adubere Muluzi said the signing of the alliance has shown true willingness on the part of the DPP to develop Malawi together with the UDF. Muluzi said he has chosen to put aside his personal ambitions in order to save Malawians.
His Excellency the President has shown a true willingness to develop a real partnership that we hope will be able to demonstrate as we present our joint vision for Malawi. I have set aside any personal ambition in favor of serving Malawi as part of a more comprehensive team.
This is not the first time the UDF and the DPP are going into an alliance. The first time they went into an alliance was in 2014, although many accuse Muluzi of being the only beneficiary on the part of the UDF in the alliance.
Now, as the year progressed, Malawi began registering cases of the novel coronavirus as it braced for one of the most intense campaigns ahead of the fresh presidential polls. Nevertheless, on Monday, March 23rd, Malawi Electoral Commission proceeded to launch the fresh presidential polls in Blantyre. Major political parties announced working on strategies to campaign without violating the new coronavirus preventive guidelines, as announced by President Peter Mutharika. Without a COVID-19 case registered in Malawi, President Peter Mutharika declared a state of national disaster as a preventive measure. Mutharika's order banned all assembly of more than 100 people, drawing mixed reactions on social media. But campaign continued. Still on electoral issues, as the fresh presidential there were fresh calls to have the Malawi Electoral Commission chairperson Jane Ansah resign. Many Malawians who went into the streets calling for Ansah's resignation questioned her credibility. Thousands of protesters in Mzuzu joined Human Rights Defenders Coalition leaders to seal Malawi Electoral Commission's regional offices in the city. A fracas started when the protesters wanted police officers who had gathered at the regional offices to move away and let Malawi Defense Force soldiers take charge of security. Sam Kalimira gave us this very brave report.
After the 20 minutes of confrontations, their wish was granted and the demonstrators continued their route. Ugly scenes erupted again when HRDC wanted to seal the MEC offices. The marchers protested against an order by the MDF soldiers who said few representatives of HRDC would be allowed to make a symbolic sealing of the offices, where a small gate leading to the MEC offices would be closed. Soon after symbolic closing the gate, boos, whistles, demeaning songs, and then stones were thrown to the HRDC leaders and the MDF soldiers in an apparent dissatisfaction that the coalition agreed to close a gate and not the main MEC office. At this time, journalists were conducting interviews when several stones rained the premises, ending the interviews abruptly as everybody freed. The soldiers shot in the air countless times, ending the show in stampede and commotion as everybody escaped the chaotic scenes. One of the protesters, Daniel Gondwe, said he believed the protesters were not happy that the main entrance to the MEC offices were not closed.
They didn't close MEC office. So that's why we are concerned as a citizen of Malawi.
But one of the HRDC leaders, Moses Nkandavide, said they closed the small gate after observing that MEC is housed in a building where there are several institutions. Nkandavide then apologized to MDF soldiers for the incident where stones were pelted at them.
Let me take this opportunity to apologize to the military from the leadership of the military because the military in Malawi has played a critical role in terms of protecting us and protecting the constitution of the Republic of Malawi, and what has happened today is very unfortunate.
On Wednesday, MEC chairperson Justice Jane Ansah told the Public Appointments Committee of Parliament that she will only resign if her appeal to the Malawi Supreme Court fails.
But Malawi Electoral Commission Chairperson Jane Ansah told the Public Appointments Committee of Parliament that she could only resign if the Supreme Court found her in the wrong. She, however, went on leave pending retirement after the Supreme Court's verdict upholding the Constitutional Court's judgment. We carried this report on Ansah's appearance before the committee.
Ansah told the committee that she may not resign now. Meanwhile, the Human Rights Defenders Coalition HRDC has organized demonstrations aimed at shutting down MEC offices on Thursday. HRDC chairperson Timothy Ntambo says they will not relent but organize demonstrations until Ansah resigns.
We think Jane Ansah is a person that we can never take seriously. As far as I'm concerned, and as far as we're concerned, Jane Ansah has the behavior of a chameleon where now she'll say this, tomorrow she'll say totally different thing.
On the issue of the famous Tipex, Ansah told the committee that it was used for corrections and said as far as MEC is concerned, no single result sheet was left unprocessed. On the matter regarding the appeal, Ansah said an appeal is not a disobedience to a court order, saying MEC has appealed the case because they feel there are things in the judgment that are not right. Meanwhile, chairperson of the committee, Collins Kajawa, says they will release results of their determination in 7 days' time. Commenting on the refusal by the MEC chair to resign, Kajawa said what Ansah is doing is not paying attention to the majority of Malawians' wish.
It's a lack of listening and utilizing counsel and advice, because the commission and the leadership of the commission have had a dialogue with, for example, Public Affairs Committee and all political parties, and from such, discussions, they were talking about important things. One would actually take heed of such counsel for the sake of the nation. So, to really wait on the court, for example, if the Supreme Court takes a year or 2 years, what happens in the interim? We really need to be sensitive to the plight of the people as well in the country.
The morning when she was appearing before the committee, the MEC chair requested the committee to allow her tender evidence of some documents she had brought to the attention of the committee. During the course of the inquiry, ANSA requested to tender the evidence, a development which the committee did not allow. When coming out of the committee room, ANSA told journalists that she was disappointed for not being allowed to tender the evidence.
They have not allowed me to bring the evidence which I had, to read it for the people to know what evidence is there. And they say it's their procedure. I don't know what type of inquiry this is, because they should have allowed me to give what I brought.
But Gajawa told reporters that the committee did not need her evidence for their inquiry. ANSA, who came in high spirits, posing for journalists to take pictures of her, left the August House disappointed.
Now, the year 2020 will go down in history as the year the Democratic Progressive Party picked up fights with the judiciary. Chief Secretary to the government, Lloyd Muhara, a High Court judge himself, signed a notice sending Chief Justice Andrew Nyirenda on forced leave pending retirement. The judiciary responded by saying that their head was not going anywhere. Lawyers also denounced what they called continued attacks by President Peter Mutharika and the executive on the judiciary. The lawyers held peaceful demonstrations across the country, saying they could not tolerate any form of interference into the judiciary's internal affairs by the executive. Jameson Jauluka was in Blantyre.
The historic demonstrations attracted multitudes of other protesters and onlookers who came from their businesses and workplaces to see the lawyers clad in their court regalia fighting for judicial independence through the protests, reading a one-page petition at the Nzuzu courthouse before the people who had turned up for the demonstrations. Private practicing lawyer Victor Gondwe said the independence of the judiciary at law cannot be interfered with.
We are against what the executive have decided. Is completely illegal, and they know it. The independence of the judiciary at law cannot be interfered with. So whether they want it or not, the Chief Justice is going nowhere, even if it means going to court. After all, there's already an injunction. So the Chief Justice will still be there in support of the law. He has demonstrated that he's independent, and we are supporting that cause, because that's what defines us as a people. We have to respect separation of powers. The judiciary should be left alone to do its job according to the prescriptions of law. And no politicians should ever be allowed to do this.
Commenting on a statement released by Minister of Information Mark Borman, who has insisted that Chief Justice Andrew Nyirenda should go on leave pending his retirement, Gondwe said the minister's action could be tantamount to contempt of court. Apart from the lawyers, other organizations such as Church and Society and Human Rights Defenders Coalition joined the protests. Citizens for Transformation Movement Commander-in-Chief Timothy Ntambo briefly joined the lawyers before he left for his campaign rallies. At the very end of the demonstrations, some alleged DPP cadets started attacking people that took part in the protests. Police had to fire tear gas to disperse the alleged cadets.
And that was Feston Malekezo bringing us that report. Apart from that, business magnate Tom Pinganjira is still involved in legal battles following revelations that he allegedly attempted to bribe Constitutional Court judges to influence the outcome of the electoral results case in favor of the Democratic Progressive Party. We have the details in this report.
After spending almost a whole day at the SCB offices in Blantyre, business captain Tom Pinganjira, who was arrested on suspicion that he wanted to bribe judges hearing presidential elections case, has been remanded at Blantyre Police. ACB Director Renek Matemba says Mpinganjira will be charged at the court on Thursday and will be given a chance to apply for bail. Mpinganjira's lawyer, Patrice Nkhono, did not pick his mobile phone for a comment on several attempts. Scores of people gathered outside ACB offices in Blantyre for hours, trying to see the business tycoon leave the ACB offices to Blantyre Police, where he's been kept. Mpinganjira left with heavy police and military escort, with the people shouting all sorts of insults. 5 judges, Hire Potani, Ivy Gamanga, Dikisoya Madise, Redson Kapindo and Mike Tembo, are hearing the presidential elections case in which MCP and UTM are challenging the results.
Nevertheless, Malawians went to the polls on June 23rd, electing Tonse Alliance's candidate, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, as president. MEC declared Chakwera winner of the poll on 27th June 2020. Chakwera and Chilima were sworn in as president and vice president on June 28th, 2020 at Umodzi Park, before being inaugurated at Kamuzu Barracks in the capital, Lilongwe, on the 6th of July, which happened to be Independence Day.
Speaking at the Kamuzu Barracks in Lilongwe during the event, which was attended by, among others, Tanzania Vice President Samia Suluhu and Chewa Supreme Leader Kalonga Gawaundi, Chakwera promised to trim presidential powers, operationalize the Access to Information Law, and engage leader of opposition every quarter, as well as empowering oversight institutions such as the Anti-Corruption Bureau. Chakwera said over the past 26 years, Malawi has had one administration after the other, promising prosperity but delivering poverty. He said other administrations have promised nationalism but only delivered divisions, while others have promised autonomy but delivered state capture. The Malawi leader said as Malawi embarks on a new journey to rebuild the country, it is important to do with the rubbles of corruption, laziness, passivism, as well as donor dependency for the country to move forward.
As the 6th president of Malawi, I am fully aware that I may very well be the last member of that fading generation to hold this office. I am fully aware that it has fallen to me to complete the transfer of this mantle of nation building to a rising generation of Malawians born free. I am fully aware that while our founding fathers and mothers accomplished their goal of national liberation, and their sons and daughters accomplished their goal of political liberation, it is your generation that must accomplish the goal of economic liberation. It is no secret that this goal has been elusive for 26 years. It is no secret that we have had one administration after another shifting its post to the next election, promising prosperity but delivering poverty, promising nationalism but delivering division, promising political tolerance but delivering human rights abuses, promising good governance but delivering corruption, promising institutional autonomy but delivering state capture. And now, after 26 years of false starts and stale finishes, it is no secret that my generation has not only left our homeland unbuilt, but also in ruins. It is because of these ruins that our first task in building a new Malawi is clearing the rubble.
During the inauguration, Chakwera also preached hard work for Malawians for the country to achieve economic transformation. Chancellor College political analyst Ernest Tindwa describes Chakwera's address as the most inspiring speech from a head of state since the introduction of multi-party politics in 1994. On his part, social and political commentator Henry Chingaibe described Chakwera's address as a speech that was stately and befitting the governance and development trajectory that Malawi deserves.
Well, 2020 also saw the arrest, prosecution, conviction and sentencing of some former ruling Democratic Progressive Party top officials. The year also saw DPP Regional Governor for the North, Christopher Mzomera, being sent to jail over misuse of public funds.
When meting out the sentence, Senior Resident Magistrate Matthews Msisha said most of the mitigating factors that Ngwira presented in court were not convincing to be given a lenient sentence. Msisha also said he has given the sentence to be a deterrent to other public officers. Among others, the DPP governor for the North said he is a family man and has a church. Lawyer representing Nzomera Ngwira, Victor Gondwe, has said his client has advised him to appeal both conviction and sentence. While his wife looked calm throughout the court proceeding, some of his relations cried for mercy outside the court. Few staunch supporters of the TPP were clad in party's regalia outside the court. Some TPP senior members who were present at the court included Kondwani Nankuma, Jabi Mhango and Simon Vuakaunda. Ngwira was arrested in 2018 by the Anti-Corruption Bureau. Political analyst George Piri says the sentence reflects badly on the DPP. His counterpart Wonderful Nkuche said Ngwira's conviction and sentencing is a positive development in as far as the fight against corruption is concerned. Meanwhile, Ngwira and 4 other persons are answering a case in which they are being accused of allegedly inciting violence at a political rally organized by Malawi Congress Party President Lazarus Chakwera in 2016.
Former Cabinet Minister Oladi Musa was next in line.
The High Court has also given the same sentences to the former regional immigration officer for the Central Region, David Kwagwanji, who was answering the same charges as Musa. After the ruling, Musa, who had come to the court composed without handcuffs, came out of the court seemingly emotional and insisted on speaking to journalists. Dressed in a black suit and a white shirt with a red necktie, Musa said he was not satisfied with the sentencing. His explanation was, however, cut short when prison security officers whisked him away to the vehicle carrying him to the prison.
I'm not satisfied with this conviction, sentence, and judgment. Just because any corruption case, there is money involved. In this case, there is no single tambal. From 2017 up to now,
Musa's lawyer, Paul Maulidi, said they will appeal against the conviction because they have noted a lot of errors.
For the conviction, I've already got instructions from my client to appeal against the conviction. Having seen the judgment and having read it, we have noted a lot of errors which we can appeal. So obviously we are going to appeal against the conviction. On the sentencing, we have to look at it as a way and consult our client on that one. But otherwise, we are appealing against it.
Special State Prosecutor Camden Nyasuru said the government side wanted a stiffer sentence, but is satisfied with the judgment.
We wanted maximum penalties, and that those penalties should run what we call consecutive, one after the other. However, the court has given them 12 months for neglect of duty, 5 years for abuse of office. They will run concurrently, which means they will serve a maximum of 5 years.
Musa was arrested by the Anti-Corruption Bureau in March 2017 on allegations that in 2013 he and other officials from the Immigration Department fraudulently issued citizenship and passports to foreign nationals.
Currently, some other DPP top officials, including former presidential security aide Norman Chisale, are still involved in court battles. Others, like former ministers Simon Vuakaunda, Charles Mchache, and others, were also arrested on various grounds. Well, in case you just joined me, this is your Year in Review 2020 with me, Wezi Kasambala. We'll be bringing you some of the other big stories that made headlines in the year that was 2020 right after this break. Welcome back to the Year in Review 2020 right here on Times TV with me, Wezi Kasambala. Now, prior to the election, Malawians were angry as witnessed by the violence that was erupting during demonstrations. Malawians would frequently resort to the streets to protest various inequalities, including nepotism and a lack of job opportunities. And that is why tens of thousands of Malawian youth turned up for the walk-in interviews the Ministry of Health decided to conduct at the height of the anti-Jane Ansah protests. In a show of desperation, thousands turned up for the interviews across the country. The Malawi Congress of Trade Unions condemned the manner in which the government conducted the interviews amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The union's General Secretary, Dennis Kalekeni, said the interviews placed lives of job seekers at risk. The Society of Medical Doctors also criticized the Ministry of Health over the interviews to recruit health surveillance assistants. Society of Medical Doctors President Victor Miti said the walk-in interviews exposed many Malawians to the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, the country's health service delivery system has been facing a number of challenges which negatively affect patients, or rather patients, indeed. But as Isaac Chilima found out during the year, these challenges are fast becoming a burden to guardians. In this special report, Isaac takes us to Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital in Blantyre.
It is around 4:30 in the afternoon, and soon darkness will overcome the light of the day. For many people, it is time to rest. However, for guardians at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital, it is just the beginning of another long night of trouble. Apart from worrying about the health of their loved ones, they worry about the welfare of their own stomachs, as the majority have no idea about where their next meal will come from. A case in point is Cecilia Stefano, who was referred to the main hospital from Mulanje district when her daughter developed complications on her leg. As she and Cecilia wait for the day surgeons will operate on it, they face another ordeal: hunger. The men's flour they brought to Blantyre as food reserves have run out, leaving the mother with empty hands and empty stomach.
I ran out of maize flour and my colleagues have been helping me with food. In terms of money, I'm remaining with 500 kwacha only.
Carlos Zolemba exemplifies the situation. Referred from Nsanje district, he found himself in the position of both patient and guardian after he developed the problem of sores on his throat. He was told that he would see a doctor after 2 days. Nursing empty pockets meant he would not afford to generate money for transport to go back to Nsanje, and as such, decided to stay put at the hospital.
We come here without anything and we struggle to get food.
The agony, frustration and helplessness echoed in these voices could just be the tip of the iceberg. Many faceless and voiceless people who find themselves serving the role of guardian in central hospitals nationwide could have problems more than these. The country's referral hospitals offer food rations to patients only, leaving guardians to fend for themselves. The problem has been compounded by the introduction of COVID-19 measures at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital, which means guardians have to find places they could spend the night in. Contact with other people has also been minimized. No wonder these people seek a refuge in the guardian's kitchen, built at the facility. This is their temporary home, as they wait for the day when, by God's grace, their loved ones would be discharged from the hospital. Of course, the place was not meant to be a rest house, hence it has no beds and beddings. Well, the hopeless guardians have no option but simply fall prey to the mosquitoes that carry the malaria germ after enduring the mental torture of sleeping on the floor.
I came here in June and have been sleeping on the floor, using this wrapper to cover myself. We come here without anything and we struggle to get food.
prolong their suffering, guardians, most of whom are women, do not even know when their loved one will be discharged from the hospital. The struggle continues. Meanwhile, health activist Mazgo Mademba called on the government to offer guidance on the issue.
And this had been an issue for some time. And currently, most of the guardians in the hospitals who look after patients, they're complaining that they're not being provided any food. I think this is an issue. I know it's a sensitive issue, but I think government need to come with a clear guidance. According to Ministry of Health Statistics, as of 2008, the healthcare provider to patient ratio was 1 to 2,771, and the physician to patient ratio was 1 to 50,000. With the apparent problem of shortage of nurses, physicians and clinical officers, hospitals are severely understaffed and ill-equipped to provide adequate patient care. However, it is a fact of life that Malawi's public hospitals cannot do without guardians. However, Minister of Health spokesperson Joshua Malango says their primary focus is on the patients.
Oh yes, we recognize the guardians as someone who's there to take care and help maybe our health care workers when they're taking care of their patients. But in terms of providing food to guardians, I think it's a standard of anywhere in the world that maybe the hospital, like here in Malawi, we are obliged to give food to the patient.
It must be a special form of punishment to serve as a guardian this winter when everyone wants to tuck themselves in a warm place at night. Sadly, this is a situation countless guardians will be in tonight.
Now, we cannot conclude the year 2020 without talking about Prophet Shepherd Bushiri's unusual return back home in Malawi. The Enlightened Christian Gathering, or ECG leader, and his wife Mary returned to Malawi from South Africa, where they were arrested over money laundering charges. They handed themselves over to police after the South African government issued a warrant of arrest after the Bushiris skipped bail there. They were later cleared by the Malawian courts, which said their arrest in Malawi was illegal. Currently, extradition processes are still ongoing between Lilongwe and Pretoria.
On Monday morning, the Pretoria Magistrates Court issued a warrant of arrest against Prophet Shepherd Bushiri and his wife Mary and revoked their bail for contravening bail conditions when they failed to report at a police station on 2 occasions, on Friday and Monday. Hawks acting spokesperson Katleho Mohale said the Bushiris have also forfeited the 200,000 rands surety they each provided to the court as part of their bail. According to Mohale, the Bushiris also risk losing their residence if they do not report to police by Thursday this week. But commenting on the matter, Chakwera's aide Kampondeni said the president will not favor anybody but will allow law enforcers to handle the matter.
It is not the responsibility of the office of the president to be commenting on the same. And so we have no answers in any way, shape, or form as to what Malawian law enforcement agencies are going to do about the extradition request or what they are going to do about the presence of the individual in Malawi, because all of those things have to do with laws that have or may not have been broken, and it is law enforcement agencies that are responsible for determining and ascertaining what to do about those issues.
South African immigration attorney Gary Eisenberg said the Bushiris could be arrested in Malawi using the warrant of arrest issued in South Africa. Eisenberg, however, said it is not up to the South African authorities to extradite Bushiri.
Also in the year, the South African government deported 250 Malawians who were living in the Rainbow Nation illegally. The deportees arrived in the country through Kamuzu International Airport in Lilongwe. It was the second time within 4 months Pretoria deported Malawians staying illegally in that country. Taonga Sabola gave us this report.
One of the deportees, Alex Kawuma, told Times that the group has been in various South African prisons for a period of between 3 and 4 months, adding that they were later incarcerated at Lindela holding facility. Kawuma expressed sadness with the government of Malawi for not giving the deportees any form of support on arrival. We were happy to have arrived back home, but here in Malawi, the authorities have not been very helpful. They haven't given us enough support which would enable us to arrive in our home districts. One of the deportees, Umali Ndala, said there are limited job opportunities in Malawi, adding that the take-home package is too much on the lower side. We are able to raise about 1,000 rand a week, which we cannot make here at home. Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Rejoice Shumba could not be reached for comment on Thursday. Malawians, mostly between the ages of 18 and 40, flock to South Africa in search of job opportunities due to high unemployment in the country.
Now, just as the year 2020 was about to end, Malawians woke up to the sad news of the passing of Archbishop Tarsisius Ziyaye in Namibia, where he was receiving medical help. Ziyaye succumbed to colon cancer and was laid to rest inside the Maula Cathedral in Lilongwe. More details in this report.
A somber mood engulfed Malawi following the death of one of its influential sons of the land, Archbishop Tarsisius Ziyaye. Ziyaye, who has served the Catholic Church for 43 years, succumbed to colon cancer during the night of 13 December this year while in Namibia. His burial ceremony started with a mass which was held at Silver Stadium, attracting thousands of people from within and outside the country. Sad faces with most of the women in purple and white clothes covered the stadium. President Lazarus Chakwera, Vice President Saulos Chilima, and former Vice President Joyce Banda attended the ceremony. In his speech, Chakwera said that Bishop Ziyaye was exemplary to every Malawian and a brother to him.
The Most Reverend Archbishop had ceased to be just an archbishop. He had become, for me, the brother that I never had, the elder brother that I never had.
The ceremony started around 10 a.m. with condolences pouring from different individuals and institutions, not leaving out the Catholic world leader, Pope Francis, who encouraged the bereaved not to forget believing in resurrection. In his sermon, Rev. Martin Tumboga of the Karonga Diocese described late Archbishop Ziyaye as a man who was always considerate of other people. Monsignor Patrick Tawal of the Lilongwe Diocese stated that Archbishop Ziyaye was a loving person and that the church has lost.
Koma tikumvetsa kuti inuyo chisoni chanu mchachikulu kuokosa.
Archbishop Ziyaye was born on 19 May 1949 and was ordained as a Catholic priest in 1977.
Now, Malawians will also remember 2020 as the year the Malawi School Certificate of Education, or MSCE, examinations were cancelled over massive leakage. The Ministry of Education announced it will spend close to 4.5 billion kwacha to re-administer the examinations in early 2021. Wezi Gawusi sent us this report.
The decision to cancel the examinations has been sanctioned by the MANEP, which is the overseer of the examinations in the country. According to the Minister of Education, Agnes Nyalonje, after the findings, the minister had been left with no choice but to cancel the MSCE examinations. She said what has happened in this year's examination is uncalled for, and the Tonse administration will not bow down to such impunity that has stricken the country for so long. The minister also said the students will remain in school until the closing date.
The board, having sat and considered, and they took a long time looking at all the information that they had at the time in front of them, felt that in all honesty they could not tell the country that the integrity of MSCE exams 2020 has been safeguarded. So they were duty bound to do something about it, and they decided that examinations for this year should be cancelled in totality.
MANEB Executive Director Gerard Chiwunda said after inspecting some schools in the country, They noted that learners had examination papers that were yet to be written.
Sadly, we have no other choice. MalawiNews is funded through a model of like it was subvention. So we get almost 60% of the funding from government through treasury and 40% through internally generated revenue. In this case, the internally generated revenue is out of the way because we will not go back and ask the candidates to pay for examinations. We've already paid, we understand. So it is only government now that is going to foot 100% of the bill.
Meanwhile, Manebo says learners will not be required to pay other examination fees in the next examinations.
Now, sadly, 2020 will also go down as a year where cases of sexual violence against women and girls were on a huge increase. We saw sectors and sections of various demographics coming forward and condemning these acts. We saw the president himself and indeed his wife condemning acts. We saw civil society organizations, women particularly, and of course even men, but women in particular, taking to the streets. We saw lawyers, we saw doctors taking to the streets, protesting, condemning this horrible vice that rocked 2020. As we go through this final report, which is basically culminating the various activities that took place against this act, we can only hope that 2021 will be a better year in this respect.
The demonstrations started at Katoto Ground and were patronized by, among others, male and female media practitioners from the northern region and representation of Women Lawyers Association. The protesters chanted songs. While carrying placards which carried messages which were asking the government and the general public to take a part in dealing with rape and defilement. Speaking after delivering the petition at the Mzusite Council, a representative of the Women in the Media North Chapter, Angela Nkandavire, said there is a need for legal review on defilement, arguing the 14 years jail term is not enough.
As women in media, we do empathize with our fellow women and girls who are mostly victims of sexual violence, rape and defilement. So what we are saying is, as journalists, we have written about this. What we want now is action from our duty bearers. We have petitioned the Ministry of Gender because it is the line ministry that is involved in policy formulation. So we are demanding a policy review. What we want is a stiffer penalties for sexual violence perpetrators. We feel 14 years is not enough. And again, we want all those that conceal, those that perpetrate sexual violence, they should also be prosecuted.
The petition was received by Mzusite Council Chief Executive Officer Gomeziani Nyasulu, who said they are also dismayed with the increased number of defilement and rape cases, assuring the demonstrators to deliver the petition to the responsible ministry.
We are equally concerned as City Council with the increased number of gender-based violence. That concern for us equally as a City Council because we exist for people, and if people are not living safely, it becomes a concern for us as City Council.
On Tuesday, Speaker of National Assembly, Catherine Gutani-Hara, visited a 10-year-old girl from Chibudua Township who was defiled when she was coming from school. Similar demonstrations were organized by female journalists in Lilongwe and Blantyre on November 3. From January to September, the Malawi Police Service says has recorded a total of 1,501 cases of defilement in the country.
Well, I'm afraid that's all we had time for you for in this year's Year in Review 2020. My name is Wezi Kasambala. We hope you enjoyed all the stories and we hope we entertained, enlightened and indeed educated all of you. Thank you so much for keeping 2020 entertaining with us and keeping watching Times TV throughout the year. Until next year, it's Happy New Year from all of us here at Times TV.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy? Protex! Good health starts here.
If you're ready to have a good time, let me hear you say yeah.
Learning is a treasure that will follow its owner everywhere. At God's Grace Academy, GGA, we strive to give our students the best education possible. As a Christian value-based core education independent school using the IGCE syllabus, GGA is a high-performing center of multidimensional excellence that provides a holistic Christian value-based education that will last a lifetime. We aspire to mold disciplined students that will easily fit into the society. Our prestigious building and campus includes spacious classrooms, spacious areas for physics, chemistry, and biology laboratories, ICT, library, gymnasium, and resource center, and much more. GGA will open its doors in January 2021, and all learners joining GGA between now and 31st January 2021 will get a free school uniform and a Samsung Galaxy Tab for e-learning. Wow! For more information, contact us on the following: God's Grace Academy, committed to excellence.
GoTV's everyone's favorite place this festive. A place to smile, where you find all the strength you need. A loyal place, where friendship means everything. And where you find love in its purest form. GoTV Ndiali Yensem Nyangwaji Sangalalo. Get your GoTV decoder, GoTenna, and a month of the best telenovelas and sport on GoTV Max for as low as 19,999 Malawi Kwacha. Download my GoTV app to easily manage your account on the go. Sankaweka, GoTV, love it. It's about time.
Makola anzanga ku programu yathu ya lero ya kholo lozitsata yomwe imakufikani pano pa wireless ya Kanema. Muli ndine message Peter. Lero tikhala tikuona za momwe ndondomeko ya maphunziro a dziko lino ili kuyambira kumalo amira mpoyamba, school za primary ndi za secondary. Mpulogalamu iyi tikhala tikuonanso za momwe ife makolo tingawathandizire ana athu pa maphunziro awo mu skulu zonsezi. Kwa monga mmene timachitira nthawi zonse, tiye tikumbutsanenso zomwe tidaphunzira mpulogalamu yathayo, pomwe timayankha funso loti kodi maphunziro nchiyani, ndiponso njira za maphunziro ndi ubwino wake wamaphunziro operekedwa mu njira yokhazikika, komanso kufotokoza zakufunika kuti mwana wathu akhale ndi maphunziro oyenera. Kodi malinga ndi zinthu zomwe tidaphunzira mphunziroli tingakwanitse kutchula ubwino wa maphunziro operekedwa mu njira yokhazikikayi?
Mwana bangania maphunziro ya masambiro kwa wakutola zeru ziwemi para wasambira wapambanisa na para wandasambira kwa para wasambira wakutola zeru ziwemi pamana para wandasambira kwa para wandasambira ndi kuti waenge wachimbulimbuli waenge kuti vindu vinandi okuwa kumaya makolacha kwe para wasambira okuvimanya vindu.
Mwanakazi ndiwe mshomeni kumuika pa skulu chifukwa anakazi ndo wakutukulanga sharo shino andi masambiro kavana anakazi ndo wakuanga pandazi kusikana anarume nanga vapapi akuvwirika kuzira mvana anakazi vanarumesha vakajipangira kavao so para wasambira mwanakazi ndikuti watukura Malawi yuno.
Makolo anzanga tiganizirepo zamene ndondomeko ya maphunziro idalili pa nthawi ya ubwana wathu. Kenaka tiyankhe mafunso awo. Kodi sukulu tidayamba liti? Tikapena tidayamba tili nzaka zingati? Kodi tidali ndi mwayi okhala nawo m'malo a mmera mpoyamba ena amati sukulu za mkaka? Kodi sukulu ya primary tinaphunzira zaka zingati? Titachoka ku sukulu ya primary tidalowera kuti ndi maphunziro athu? Ngati tinapitirira apo kenako tidapita kuti? Maphunziro athu kodi tidafika nawo pati? Kodi tikufuna kuti ana athuwa maphunziro awo adzafike pa? Maphunziro athu kodi tidafika nawo pati? Nanga tikufuna kuti ana athuwa maphunziro awo adzafike nawo pati? Mayankho amene tikuyembekezera ndi zaka 6 zisanu mchimodzi. Ayi, zaka 8. Sekondale kenako sukulu ya ukachenjede. Izi zitengera ndi mulingo wa maphunziro akholo amene ali nawo kholo lilonse palokha. Tikuyembekezera kuti kholo linena kuti maphunziro apamwamba kwambiri. Tiye tsopano tibwere ku phunziro lathu la lero, kukambirana za ndondomeko ya maphunziro a dziko la Malawi. Ena mamayankho okhudza ndondomeko ya maphunziro ndi amayamba mwana akakwanitsa zaka 3 kumalo a mmera mpoyamba. Maphunziro a sukulu za primary omwe mwana amayamba akakwanitsa zaka 6 ndipo amapitiriza kwa zaka 8 kufikira mu standard 8. Apa ndiye kuti mwana ali zaka 14 pomwe amalemba mayeso a standard 8. Maphunziro a ku sekondari omwe mwana amachita kwa zaka 9 ndipo amalemba mayeso mchaka chachinayi form 4. Maphunziro a ukachenjede omwe mwana amakachitira ku sukulu ya za ukachenjede komanso ku sukulu zophunzitsira luso ndi zina. Zaka zomalizira kumeneku zimasiyana malingana maphunziro ake ndi mayeso ake. Koma dziwani kuti sukulu ya primary mwana amapita ku kalasi yotsatira akakhoza mayeso amene aphunzitsa ampatsa. Choncho nthawi zina ana amabwereza kalasi ngati sanakhoze bwino. Izi zotanthauza kuti ana amene amabwereza kalasi amakhala ku sukulu ya primary kwa zaka zoposera 8. Izi nzofunika kuti makolo azidziwa mchulinga chokuti azimuthandizira mwana wawo pa nkhani ya ku sukulu akakhala ku nyumba kuti asamabwereze kalasi. Makolo muphunziro la lero tiona njira zomwe tingachite pothandizira ana athu pa maphunziro. Koma tisanapite patali tigwirizane za imwe akuyenera kumathandizira mwana pa maphunziro, kuti ndi amayi kapena abambo. Aliyense mwa ife ali ndi udindo othandizira ana athu kuti apeze maphunziro apamwamba, ndipo izi zitha kuchitikira limodzi, muchitira limodzi bambo ndi mayi. Tili ndi magawo osiyanasiyana amaphunziro, ndipo magawowa ndi am'mera mpoyamba, sukulu za primary, secondary, ndiponso maphunziro a ukachenjede. Pamene ana athu akudutsa m'magawowa, magawo onsewa, tidzifunse mafunso awawo. Kodi mwana wathu akufuna chithandizo chapadera? Kodi akufunika thandizo lotani? Nanga thandizoli tilipereka bwanji? Kana tilipereka motani? Ndinguyambiranso mene. Kodi mwana wathu akufuna chithandizo chapadera? Akufunikira thandizo lotani? Ndipo tilipereka motani? Kana tilipereka bwanji kwa mwana wathuyo? Ndi zinthu ziti zikuyenda bwino pakumuthandizira mwana wathuyo? Kodi nanga mavuto anji amene akumana nawo pamene mukumuthandiza mwanayo? Kodi amuna anu kandi akazi anu ndi anthu ena apakhomopo amathandiza bwanji, amamuthandiza bwanji mwana? Kodi mumaganiza kuti muchita zinthu zomofanana? Nanga nchiti chomwe timenera kuchita kawiri pothandizira mwana wathu pa maphunziro? mafunso ena oti tulunjikepo ndioti kodi mwana wakummera mpoyamba amafunikira chithandizo chotani, kodi nchofanana ndiye mwali ku skulu ya primary kapena ku secondary. Tikambirane nkupeza njira zomwe tingakwanitse kuzichita pothandizira ana athu m'magawo onse amaphunziro.
Apo mwana wa ku CBCC na wa ku primary vipambana visiyana. Pambana kwake kuli wakuti wakuje na ku CBCC wakwena kusambira maujene, wakwena kusambira A, E, I, O na tujene tutu panji pa tung'ombe chanchani. Kweni wakuje ni kwa primary yao ngasambira ngani ya maujene ma alphabet. Wakuno kuje ni ku CBCC wangasambira shakamba kuti mwana wa ku CBCC ni mshoko wakawanda manyepo na kandu cha. Kweni wa ku primary ndikuti mwana yule akaso walipaeja kuti banyi wanga mayapo.
Vana ava tukapambanisana tofauti kakulio nkakupambana. Mwana wa CBC ni mwana mdoko, mwana wa primary ni mwana mkuru. Sono mwana nge mdoko huyu tukumuvira kwenda seru iso walinazo kwa breni kwa kugura chiro ya kushepako. Wa primary naso tumpasa upangiri kusikana ngena muwalilie pa msingo wake na masambira wanaokura ngaku msambika kulemba wa CBC huyu kumulongola katika aka ngashitole kaidi somba ndio mwana wa kusambira kuzera na muwalipa stage yake.
Mwana wa sekondari tikonera kumpasa vindu ngeti hivi: 1 pa school fees, 2 uniform, 3 pa mabuku na makopi. College chimozi paina so school fees.
Kwa mwana yemwe ali kumalo amera mpoyamba makolo akuyenera kumpatsa thandizo lotere. Ukhondo makolo tuyenera kumuthandizira mwana wathu pomusambitsa bwinobwino, kumveka zovala zochapidwa bwino, mwasita bwinobwino, komanso zoyenerana ndi nyengo, kanyengo yotentha kana yozizira. Pomwe tili munyengo ya muliri wa corona tiyeni tiphunzitse ana athu kasambidwe kabwino ka m'manja ndikuwapatsa uphungu oyenerera wa amene angapewere nthendayi pomwe ali ku sukulu komanso ku nyumba. Tiyeni tipatse chakudya choyenerera cham'mawa, kamasana, madzulo, koma mauka makali apa tinene cham'mawa kadzutsa. Tiyeni timpatse mwana zinthu zoyenerera zosewerera pamene ali ku nyumba kapena kumalo amera mpoyamba. Komanso tizimfunsa mwana wathu pafupi pa zinthu zomwe iyeyo amakhala kuchita akakhala ku sukuluko. Ndiye tionetsetse kuti mwana wathu ali ndi chitetezo chabwino chokwanira popita ndipo pobwera ku sukulu. Kwa mwana yemwe ali ku sukulu ya primary yemwenso ali pa msinkhu wabwino amafunika thandizo la makolo m'magawo awa. Makolo tionetsetse kuti ana akuchita ntchito zimene amapatsidwa mkalasi ku sukuluko ndi ku nyumba komwe. Ngati tingathe tiwathandize ana athu pa kumafotokozera zinthu zomwe sanamvetsetse ku sukuluko, koma tionetsetse kuti sitikuwalembera ntchito zomwe aphunzitsi apatsa. Kwa mwana yemwe ali ndi mphatso zapadera tiyeni timulimbikitse pomupatsa zinthu kuposera zomwe amapanga anzake. Ngati mwana wathu akumachedwa kumvetsetsa zinthu zomwe waphunzira tiyeni timulimbikitse kuti asasiye koma alimbikirebe mpaka atamvetsetsa. Tionetsetse kuti mwana wathu ali malo oyenerera omwe angamuthandizire kuti asataye chikhulupiriro chomwe ali nacho pochita zinthu makamaka akakhala yekha kuti azikhala ndi mtima wakuti akhoza kuchita bwino. Tiyeni timpatse mwana wathu uja zinthu zonjezera zogwiritsa ntchito pa maphunziro ngati tingakwanitse kutero. Tiyeni tsopano tioneza mwana yemwe ali ku sukulu ya sekondari. Mwana yemwe ali ku sukulu ya sekondari nthawi zambiri amakhala wodziyimira pa yekha, choncho toyenera kumamulimbikitsa kuti azikhala pafupi ndi aphunzitsi ake komanso anzake kuti athe kumvetsetsa bwinobwino zomwe akuphunzirazo. Tiyeni timulimbikitsenso mwana athuyu mmene angathe kuziphunzitsira pa yekha. Timuthandizenso pakasankhidwe ka zinthu zomwe afuna adzachite kutsogolo, komanso tionetsetse kuti zinthuzo zikhale zoti adzatha kuzikwaniritsa kapena zomwe iyeyo amazikonda ndi kale. Tiyeni timkonzetsere mwana wathu za zinthu zina zomwe iye atha kudzachita ngati sadzakwanitsa kupita ku sukulu ya ukachenjede. Makolo, tiyeni tsopano tione mmene tingathandizire ana athu makamaka mu nthawi ino ya mliri wa korona. Makolo dziwanize, ngati muli ndi mwana amene ali ndi ulumali, tikuyenera kudziwa kuti mwana wa ulumali amafunika thandizo lapadera, ndipo ngati tichita izi mwamsanga, phindu lake limaposa ndalama zomwe tagwiritsa ntchito pothandizira mwana ameneyo.
Mwana ngeti wakupundukwa tikumtola kuti ngena ni mwana kuyasikana na wanyake wa chifukwa naye wana ufuru uli wasambire, wana ufuru masambiro na iti kuyezeska kumika pagula wanyake kuti iye waleke kumayasha kuti kwali iye kumara kapena kusalika kweni tumike pamosa kuti wake wasilingana wanyake na usu munga kwanisikira mweneko.
Malingana ni sono kukwanga mwae wa malipoti kadi awa wana kupokeranga parani na mpapi niliwa kusambira hapo ngubeka kutika mwana uyu washitauli apa parawera para skulu za jala olo majulingi mumo wa kusambirira nkuna kusakabeka makope mwa kutika mwana wa kushitauli so para kushitauli hene ngwezesa kuti nikakumana asambizi tikawisuzwa ni vichi asambizi panje wani palilenge vakufoka vake ivo mwana walinavu nani kutoapo ruwande mwana yura kuti niezese kuti panane ngumanyapo tunyake na tunyake ni msambizi ngeke kupatali patali kuti washiteshi wawengemu kweniso para kulimwaye unyake wakuti pari kwa nyamata yeka kuti wakushita makora pagula kipasa izi zake ngumtuma pagula nyamata wala kuti wamuofire kwa wanyake kuti panje wanga hako makora. Nchito ya mpapi nja kubeka pa mwana wake kuti nina mwana huyu ningamsamalira uli mpapi wakwenda kwa wakulimbikira kugwira nchito zake za ulimi kuti wasangingeko fizi la kuti wamvuhirire mwana mu Joseph wakumbikirenge mwana kutakunthazi huko kweniso pakwanga mwayo watipanye na mpapi nikhali nithuwaka ya ninjile maguru ya kusunga na kubwerekesa ndalama mwakuti para vyasuzgirako nyezenge kuzapa guru na kutapa ndalama tukamuvuhire mpaka mwana wani atisi wafike kuti masambiro yake ya muvuhire.
Ngati mwana wathu wachedwa kwaniritsa chinthu china monga kukwala, kuyankhula, kuyenda, sizitanthauza kuti iyeyo sadzakwaniritsa chimenecho mpaka kalekale. Adzakwaniritsa ndithu koma mochedwerapo. Choncho makolo akuyenera kudekha ndithu kwinako akumulimbikitsa kumalo am'mera mpoyamba ndi kunyumba. Kufoka kwa chiwalo chimodzi cha mwana sizitanthauza kuti thupi lonse ndi lofoka. Apa pamene makolo timayenera kufufuza maluso ena amwanayo. Makolo tikuyenera kuzindikira ngati mwana ali ndi mphatso kapena luso lobisika ndikumamuthandizira kuti lusolo lituluke poyera. Chifukwa tikapanda kutero maluso ndi mphatsozo sizidzaonekanso makamaka ngati mwana ali pamalo omwe pali zopingapinga zina. Ulumali sutanthauza kuti munthu ngolephera. Tiyeni tidziwe kuti mwana otereyo ali ndi luso kapena mbali ina yomwe atha kuchita bwinobwino mu moyo wake. Kotero makolo tiyenera kuti tikhale nchidwi choonetsetsa kuti mbali yomwe mwana wathuyo akuchita achite bwino ndipo tamuthandizira kuti athe kuchita bwinobwino mbali imeneyi. Tikatere ndiye kuti tafikanso kumalechereche kwa programu yathu ya lero. Ndipo tutakambirana kuti kuthandiza mwana pa maphunziro kumatha kukhala kovutirapo nthawi zina koma nkofunika kwambiri. Tikatere ndiye kuti tafika pa mtsiriziro wa programu yathu ya lero. Ndipo takambirana kuti kuthandiza mwana pa maphunziro kumatha kukhala kovutirapo nthawi zina koma nkofunika kwambiri. Kumalira nthawi komanso zipangizo zambiri koma nchinthu chofunika zedi. Nthawi zina mwana sachita bwino amalephera ndithu mkalasi mwinanso samvera aphunzitsi ake. Izi zimachititsa makolo kukhala okwiya ndi kufuna kumulanga mwana. Koma chilango chokha sichingachititse kuti mwana uja akule bwino ayi ndi kufika kapena kukwaniritsa zinthu zomwe timafuna. tiyenera kupeza njira zabwino zomuphunzitsira mwana uja khalidwe labwino. Ngati makolo pofuna kuunguza ubwino wa thandizo lomwe tikumpatsa mwana pa maphunziro, tisamangona zinthu monga makope, zolembera, uniform ndi zina zomwe timampatsa zija. Tikuyeneranso kumulimbikitsa mwana kukhala ndi masomphenya ndiponso kusula maluso ena wothandiza kukwaniritsa maphunziro. Ndikukhulupirira kuti mpulogalamu yathu ya lero taphunzirapo zambiri zomwe inu ndi ine zingatichititse kuti tikhale kholo lozitsata ndiponso lothandiza kupititsa patsogolo maphunziro a mwana wathu. Foni, kufunsa mafunso, nkumapereka ndemanga, ndipo ena mwa mafunso omwe tidzalunjikepo ndi awa: kumva maganizo kapena ndemanga zanu pa programu yokhuza kuthandiza mwana wathu pa maphunziro, komanso mavuto omwe ife makolo tikukumana nawo m'madera momwe tikukhala pa gawo lothandizirana pa maphunziro awo ku nyumba ndi m'madera omwe tikukhala. Phunziro la lero akonza ndi anzathu aja Livingstone Synod AIDS Program LISAP ndiponso a Word Alive Relief and Development WACRAD ndi thandizo lochokera ku Help a Child Malawi. Khalani kholo lozitsata. Munali ndi ine Message Peter Zikomo.